Another good day. Do you know why? Mousetrap, episode 3, on your screen right now. As well as this custom mousetrap. Really nice. This episode, we're going to make a really cool mouse wheel. Incorporate all the traps from episode 1 on the track. We finish the coaster. Lots of coaster building in this one. And doing a little bit of theming. So, without further ado, here we go, episode 3. Mousetrap. Mousetrap. Holy crap. That was me deleting some tracks. Because, as usual, I wasn't happy with the way it was. But in the previous episode, you see me, or you heard me, talking about the fact that the coaster didn't have enough speed, so I was going to change the angle of the coaster. And then I had a cool idea, and I felt like I needed to make a mouse wheel. So that's what we're doing here. Like you see in the thumbnail of this video, this epic mouse wheel actually rotates with the coaster. But Book, I can't follow what you're making. You're talking too much. Alright, here's a summary. First thing that we're gonna do here is get rid of this ball trap. That sounds cursed. You know what I mean. This ball trap, the rolling ball thingy majiggers. In the first or the second episode, we placed it down, but it only worked as a scenery piece. But in this episode, we're going to actually make a functional trap from it. So I'm adding some gears, as you can see there, or a cork, and some pipes, and we're gonna make a little water trap contraption. Get it? I made that joke already. It's not funny anymore. Stop it, Book. Okay, I'm sorry. So yeah, a water trap. That's what we're building here. Building some pipes that go over it, over the track, and then as you come by and the ball rolls down, it will squirt some water in your face. It's nice. This is what it looks like. Then I did a little bit of bips and bops. I think that's the thing, what people say. I did some bips and bops. Such a weird thing to say. Let me know in the comments how to say it properly. Anyway, I placed down a couple of rocks and then I placed down some sprinklers. The idea was this ball to roll down, and as it reaches the bottom, the gear starts rotating and pumping water to the gear at the chain lift, which then rotates and it drives the chain lift. That was kind of the idea. I also placed down some fountains at the bottom of these corks, so when they rotate it looks like water is splashing up. Nothing fancy, but I thought it was a little touch. And then I spent a little while on programming the whole sequence. Because I have changed the height and the angle of the chain lift, I no longer felt the need to have these poison pellets laying behind the box of poison. It would just be a waste of pieces. So I deleted them. And instead built a rock solid foundation. Get it? Because I'm placing down rocks? Yeah? No? Oh, never mind. Then I had another big brain move. Well, it's kind of obvious. I should have done this way earlier, but I changed the track color and I changed the color of some of the custom supports that I've made so that it blends in with the traps, and then it makes the whole build look so much more playful. So yeah, I did that, and yeah, I did that. Then, after the chain lift, you come down, and then I had a really cool idea of integrating a mouse wheel. But I thought what would be really even cooler is having a looping in a mouse wheel. And I know this coaster is not supposed to do a looping. This is a family coaster, and loopings are not designed for this coaster. But that doesn't take away the fact that I just made one. Yeah, just felt like it. And I think it would work really well in a mouse wheel. So yeah, I know it's totally not realistic, but it's, like I said with most of my videos, I go for the experience of the coaster and building a custom loop in this mouse wheel that then rotates as you enter is actually a really cool idea. I thought I'm just gonna do it. Yeah, so this is me making the loop. The first thing I needed to do to make the mouse wheel is obviously add an animation piece, and then for reference you've got the little mouse card in the looping to see how big it is. I needed to build a structure first on which the mouse wheel rotates. So I built a little stand, as you can see here. I'm using red. These are actually the coaster support pieces because I feel like size-wise these work so much better than the basic shapes that we have in the game. These custom coaster pieces are so much better than basic shapes. So if you're ever in need of these kind of pieces, I'd highly recommend using the custom support pieces instead of the basic shape pieces. They can be shrunk a lot more as well. So they can be very small or very large. And with the basic shapes they can either just be very large or very large still. Search description. Then I had to find out the range and angle of rotation, which you see me playing around here with some pieces. I had to make sure that when the wheel rotates, it's not clipping through the roller coaster track, which means I could only do this one way, and that is finding out first what the rotation is like. As you see here, it rotates nicely and clearly over the track, but at the bottom it clips through the track, as you can see there. So I had to come up with an invention, which I come up with later, but first there was a very painful part that I had to go through. I had to design a mouse wheel that could rotate without it, like I said before, clipping through the track. I don't like clipping at all, and you see me a lot in my builds making sure that there's no clipping, like when placing down these rocks, making sure that there's no clipping and that it's not going on the track or something like that. Currently, as you can see here, I can't rotate the mouse wheel fully because it will go straight through the track at the bottom, because the loop is attached to the bottom pretty much. So I came up with a way. It's an angled loop. So as you can see here, when I rotate it, it wraps to the left because it's slightly offset and it's bended. So if I do a half rotation, it rotates slightly to the left, and this way I can avoid clipping through the bottom part.
A few moments later.
This is kind of what it looked like, and if it rotated, it would rotate like a spiral instead of a circle. So I placed it down and I started experimenting with it, but again I figured out the moment it rotated that something was off. It wasn't going to look pretty and there was still clipping. As you can see there, all the way at the bottom, that axis that holds the whole thing together was rotating and clipped straight through the track. So this design wasn't gonna work. Back to the drawing board. I just started with the general shape of a mouse wheel, hamster wheel. And based on that, I'm just going to attach parts of the hamster wheel to the frame, and from there attach pieces to it and see what I could do and how far I could push this without it clipping through the coaster. Now after fiddling around a little bit with some experiments, I ended up coloring it yellow and red, like with all the other trap parts. And I placed some beams across to hold the pieces together. And you must be thinking, Book! This way it's just going to clip anyway if you just do this like the other trap. I know, but I managed to find a way how to make it not clip. I'll show you now. But first, this is the end result. Alright, upon entry, you can see there's no clipping of these blue bars, but on the exit there is. So it has to rotate. Now the mouse card is going to approach, like here, and it's gonna rotate. As you can see, the blue bars flip to the other side, and now the entry is obstructed, but the exit is free. This way I could have a rotating wheel the wheels would be attached and it wouldn't look silly. Oh, what a brain fart that was. Now that this bloody hamster wheel was finally out... Why do I keep calling it hamster wheel? Red mouse wheel. Now that this bloody mouse wheel was finally out of the way, I finally had some more time to work on the coaster. So I extended the coaster coming down from one side and then coming back up again, up to the hill. It gets a little bit of speed there, which I think is quite exhilarating. Yes. So it looks like this. Book, this is not even realistic. Do something about it. Alright. I deleted some of the rocks to make sure that the coaster could come through. And I placed down some other rocks to replace the empty spaces and to get rid of this ugly ass support system from the coaster. I then placed down some brakes for realism's sake and did a little bit more coaster design. I brought it back along the long side of the blueprint, so on the right side of this chain lift there, and then I brought it all the way to the back where the mouse wheel was. And yeah, obviously this wasn't permanent, and then later on end up changing it anyway. But this is what it looks like for now. Then I felt like the mouse wheel needed to be powered by this bathtub trap. That's an original trap from the board game, which we made in episode 1. Make sure you check it out. The bathtub trap is pretty much a ball falling from a bathtub in the sky that's filled with water. And then I've got an animation piece that's all the way at the bottom and it pokes down, so I had to make sure that I hide it, which you can see me doing here. I just put a big rock in front of it. Anyway, I wanted this bathtub trap to activate the mouse wheel trap. So I had to come up with a way on how to do this. And I came up with a genius way. This is what I came up with. I call this the worm. Wheel flicker 2.5 ultra rapid rotational Bughuul. It works like this. The ball falls onto the plate flicks up, and it's going to flick the gear in rotation, and then the gear is going to rotate a bigger gear, which will in place rotate the mouse wheel. What a genius! Planet Coaster Einstein. As you can see, it flicks the gear up and the gear rotates, and then that rotation will drive the mouse wheel. I then added a couple more details to it and a bigger wheel, and yeah, this is the end result and the final animation of the mouse wheel and the gear that drives the mouse wheel. So the ball will fall down. As the coaster approaches, it flicks the gear and it rotates the mouse wheel. Quite happy with this animation sequence. Now I've got all traps made from episode 1 incorporated in the coaster so far, except for one trap, and that's the last trap. The one where the diver flies into a basket and then the basket falls down to catch the mouse. And that's the end of the board game mouse trap. But in this case I wanted it to also be the last trap of the coaster, because obviously that's the way to finish the board game, so what a great way to finish the coaster. I just didn't have enough room to put this trap down anywhere and build the thing that I wanted to build, which you'll see in a bit. So I redirected the coaster to the left side of the blueprint, and then I could place down the trap that I was just talking about, as you can see here. I got a really awesome idea of what I wanted to do. So yeah, this is what it looks like so far. After playing around with some of the track lengths and speeds in which the car approaches the trap, it was really hard to get this synchronized and have the coaster car have enough speed so that it would be captured by the net. But I made it work. I had a big brain moment, and now I'll show you what it looks like. The trap in action. Obviously, I couldn't make the coaster end like that. So, here is my idea. What if you approach the net and just before you're going to get caught, a trapdoor opens and you drop into a mouse hole? That would be cool, wouldn't it? Well, that's exactly what I made. It's really cool and I'm so happy with how this turned out. These trapdoors have been incredible and helping me out in tough situations like this, not knowing what to do. Well, this trapdoor has been very helpful. And yeah, so I placed down a trapdoor at the end of the track, so just before the net catches, that's a tongue twister. The net catches the mouse, you drop through the ground and escape just in time. Here is the end result. Now originally, this trap was activated by the bathtub trap in the original game. So I had to install another bathtub trap, but I thought the height of it was a little bit awkward, so I made a little bit of an adjustment. Obviously something needed to come down to launch this diver into the basket, so I only thought it was gonna be the bathtub trap and I couldn't come up with anything else, so I used a different animation piece and I animated the ball drop, but just from a little bit higher, as you can see here. I used the same technique as I used before. I stack 2, in this case 3 different animation pieces on top of each other, so I can animate the ball falling down and staying down for a little bit. And here's the last little bit of coaster design for those who are interested. I didn't want to leave it out because I'd like to show the whole process of making the blueprint, so that includes little bits like this. I wanted to bring the coaster in and then come back out and then go back in again in the mouse hole. So it's kind of like popping in and out of mouse holes to then eventually connect to the station, which is obviously inside a mouse hole. So yeah, this is the end result of the track. The next little bits were mainly focused on making sure that everything is looking cohesive, particularly the terrain and the rocks, and hiding some of the supports and making sure that all the coaster track is supported. If it's not by normal supports, then it's by rocks. And we started with the station, so here's a look at what I've just done. Then I had a really cool idea of bringing the pathing up and having a little bit of pathing on top of the mouse hole, at least the main entrance there. I was thinking maybe I could make a little food court or something up there if there's enough room, or at least a sitting area for guests to roam around, and so that you can actually explore around the blueprint as well and not just have the front entrance. This way you can walk on top, look at all the structures from close by, see how they work, as well as maybe having a drink. We'll see in episode 4 if I'm actually going to build a food place or a little sit down area, but pretty sure I will. I was actually really happy with having the pathing up there, because it just gives me so many more opportunities and some cool ideas that I can apply that I had in my head. There's some weird stuff going on in my head. Let's not go there. I used a little bit of more rocks, placed down some more rocks, and made the pathing all blend in well and nicely with the terrain. Then, as I said, I wanted this last little section of coaster to pop in and out of the mouse holes that I have there. So that's what this lot of rocks is about. Just making sure that I can theme it in a way that it looks like it's going in and out of the different mouse holes. Then it was time to blend in the trap the last trap that I've placed with the environment, so that it's gonna be nice and incorporated and not just floating there on half of the edge kind of thing. Also, if you go through that trapdoor and you fall through, I wanted it to be an area where mice are, so I needed to make another mouse hole there, which is fine. Yeah, this is the end result after placing down the rocks and incorporating the trap. I know you all have been really liking the little snap builds that I've been adding in my edits. So I thought I'm gonna treat you guys to a little compilation of adding rocks and changing terrain. Just pure snap builds, no talking. So enjoy! Placing down these rocks individually takes so much time. It took me about 2 hours, as you saw just before. It's like one by one placing down the rocks, making sure they are the right size and there's no clipping. Very painful process, but absolutely worth it. It was then time to finish the queue, or at least the inside of the queue. I played around with lots of the lights. Obviously I had to delete everything because I had to extend my station. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check episode 2. It was a pain in the ass and it still makes me want to smash my head against the wall. Anyway, it worked out really well. Played around with the lights and I also placed down some nuts and some seeds and some poop. Nice. You can't have a mouse hole without poop. Being the child I am, I obviously had to make someone walk through the poop. When do I ever grow up? Last but not least, I applied some fences on the pathing, just to make sure that there are not going to be any suicidal guests who think it in their head to jump on the track. You never know. The landscape is pretty much done now. This is the end result after building from this video. As you can see, we made massive progress compared to when we started. All of this stuff, all these rocks, everything is built, coasters completed, lots of rocks, all traps are in place, extra traps I've placed, all the pathing is done, little lookout here, these rocks here all finished, and we built this amazing red. I'm so happy with this. It just looks so cool and yeah, very happy. Obviously it's looking very bland. There is still so much to add. All these pipes, for instance, I want to add some more pipes, some more gears randomly like poking out, like twisting around. I want to add some more traps, like custom traps that I designed myself instead of the ones from the board game. I love this section. This trap he worked out so well with the pathing around it. And it looks like, oh, there's nowhere to go, but actually you sink down in the ground and you come out here. I have to say it's quite unique in my opinion. Very happy with the result. I love these like little holes that you come out and then you jump down in and you come out again. Obviously I need to put more of this wooden structure around the caves and stuff. Maybe some doors popping in and out of the doors like old RCT days. That's really cool. You know, in RCT they had this like custom doors and stuff. Obviously I'll make something really cool here, maybe like some kind of structure. I'm very excited to see where this will go. But all the traps from the game are in, from the board game. I need to put lots of shrubs down, lots of trees, blend it all in, make it all come together, and I've just see what the piece count is. Obviously excluding the trees are on the left. We are on roughly 3,200, so about 800 pieces left to bring it all together and polish it. The inside is all completed as well. I've done that too. So let's just walk down the queue, and I'd say we'll give this bad boy a ride and see what it looks like. So I need to make a sign here as well, and I think I can make it on this surface of the rock. I'll just have like a big flat rock and make like a custom mouse trap entrance. I have to fence this off as well. So we go down here, so we come through here, and here we go in here, and the little mouse cave. Here's a mouse waiting for us. I'll make here a little sign here or something like that. So this is all finished, and I'm super happy with the queue. The humans have been placing traps again. Watch out. Bloody humans. Bastards. Always up to no good. So yeah, I'm super happy and super stoked with how this turned out. I mean, look at this. It's all super cozy and little mouse hole. And you wouldn't have, if you didn't know what was on top, you would have no idea what's actually, you know, that this is completely separate from the build. This is the entrance. Very happy with this as well. And these are the little coaster cars. Unfortunately, I can only put 4 down. This is a little exit station. Probably could do a little bit more with details, but someone has walked in the poop. Oh, my childish humor comes out here. I just thought it was funny. But yeah, so this is the queue. Let's jump on this bad boy and see what it's all about. Alright, that was the POV. Let's follow these guys that have just left and talk about things. I'm really happy. They better get the hell out of here fast. They'll burn alive. Oh, it's just so cool. It's so nice to see my idea that was stuck in my head come to life onto a game. Yeah, it's just, I'm so happy with how this turned out. Look at them go. Obviously having fun. And now they're about to kill the mouse. bastards. Told you the humans are bastards. They kill the mice. But yeah, like you can see, it's all come together really well. I had envisioned these traps interacting with the coaster in my head. And I think I've managed to pull it off quite well. It's all come together so far. But there's still a couple of things to do. As I said before, there's still about 800 pieces left. And if you just take a quick look from the outside, it's still quite bland. We need trees, we need flowers, we need colorful things, we need more traps, I guess. Yeah, we could probably build a couple more traps. We have a little lookout here. We need some more interactive things for the guests to interact with. And there's a whole lot of other extra stuff that needs to be done. So that's what we're gonna do in the next episode. Next episode we're gonna place down trees, decorate all of this, and maybe the next episode will be something special, but we'll see about that if I have time to do it, because the editing takes a long time. But yeah, I'm super happy with how this turned out. I really like we can make something here as well. Like I feel like we could make a little pond here or something. Anything is possible in this game. That's why I love this game so much. Although there's still lots of things to improve on in this game. There's I don't know if you've noticed with the POV, every time you go up a chain lift, there's a couple of like a little glitch in the screen. So hopefully they'll fix that. But other than that, very happy with this. If you love this, please consider subscribing and help me out. It would mean the world to me, and all the support that you guys have been giving over the last couple of videos have been incredible, and it's really made my day. All your lovely comments. So if you want to see more of this and support me, please subscribe. Give the video a like, and I'll see you all in the next video, which will be Mousetrap episode 4, and that will be the last one. And you'll see the final results of, because I've got some really cool things in my head that I want to implement on this blueprint. And then after that video it will be on the workshop, so you can go check it out. So by the time you see episode 4 it will be on the workshop. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!